Luke Cage debuted on Netflix a little while back, and probably everyone in your friend circle is talking about how mind-meltingly awesome this show is. From the acting, to the direction, to the tone, to the music selection, to the writing, to the costume design, to the political stances the show's taking. People are talking. And what do people love to talk about? Secrets. Let's talk about 10 Easter eggs or secrets I was able to find when I binged season 1 of Luke Cage, which you can actually watch right here, also with a little bit of research. Here's a spoiler warning for people who have not watched the series but have stumbled upon this video. I will be talking about specifics from this show, other Marvel properties, and possibly storylines in the future, so here's your little spoiler bug right there. And in no particular order, just the ones that I like, let us begin. Number 10. This is a big one that's been circulating on the web that I just think is fun and you should take note of. One crafty Reddit user by the name of Leecham Worf caught this little newspaper clipping that technically connects the Marvel Cinematic Universe to Back to the Future, loosely. During episode 10, Misty Knight is doing some digging to find out some history of Luke Cage, and while looking at some newspaper headlines, we notice how familiar this looks. Who are they mentioning right over there in the margin? Is that Doc Brown I see? Kinda. With slight name changes, it definitely is talking about Dr. Emmett Brown and his flux capacitor, specifically his thrust capacitor that desalinizes seawater but also has the potential to travel in time. But that wouldn't be possible until plutonium was available on every street corner. Also, it mentions an inappropriate relationship with a McFly in Mill Valley back in 1985. The threads are there, people. Let's see Luke Cage and Danny Rand hop into the DeLorean with Einstein the dog and go fight Biff in the future. Next number, 9. That's how it works. Now working our way through the show, in the first episode, just so the writers could get it out of their hair, they have Pop call Luke Power Man. Power Man is a superhero persona of Luke Cage in the original comics and kind of in the current comics as well with Power Man and Iron Fist. He's now more well known as just Luke Cage, but hey, we got the name. Thanks, Pops. You're one of my top 5 favorite characters from the show. Also, we got the costume. I don't know how they pull it off like they did, but it just happened. Yellow shirt, pants with a chain, gauntlets, and a tiara. Don't care what you say, I was in love for those 10 seconds of screen time it had. Honestly, I don't know why you'd use a chain to hold up your pants, but all right, top 5. Shades, Misty, Pop, Luke, and Cottonmouth. Bam, fight me in the comments. Numero 8, we have Shades, the originally mysterious man who was sent to help Cottonmouth get his money back and get control over his empire. Then we find out that he was in prison with Luke, and then he evolves into this awesome, threatening villain. Well, actually, Shades has a much more interesting comic book background. No, he's not just called Shades because he wears sunglasses. He's actually a classic Luke Cage villain that looks like this. You'll notice he's pulling a Cyclops or Superman with the laser eyes. They're actually coming from his shades that he's wearing. So he's not technically an enhanced individual like we thought he was going to be since he was imprisoned at Seagate with Dr. Bernstein, who gave Luke his powers, but maybe season 2, we can get some lasers, please? Number 7. Hey, earlier I mentioned costumes. I want to mention 2 more really quick that were Misty Knight's comic-accurate costume debuted during the season finale, and it had me screaming like a schoolgirl. Hair teased out, red top, everything. Well, almost everything. The whole arm injury storyline had me believing that we were maybe gonna get the bionic arm, maybe in this season, but for next time. Learn more about her right here. And one more costume really quick. Diamondback got that weird ski suit looking thing to fight Luke Cage. I know it looks silly, but it does technically match his comic book costume when he was there for a second. In some cases, costumes aren't always great when they're adapted for live action, but for Misty, fantastic. Side note, Mariah brought up this awesome plan to kill Luke Cage. You can drown him, you can poison him, I don't know. But nope, Diamondback just goes with punching. The least effective of all the confrontational options he had. Number 6.
And we are
Did you hear that?
the recent events
What was that?
Have the residents of Harlem
Who was that? Was it a ghost? Nah, the MCU doesn't have ghosts also. That's a dumb option. It's Trish from Trish Talk. You know whose host is Trish. Jessica Jones' best friend, Trish. And Jessica Jones' show, her BFF/adoptive sister, Trish Walker, aka Hellcat, is the host of a morning talk show, and we get to hear a snippet of Trish discussing the state of Harlem now that Luke Cage is fighting crime. God, I'm in love with Rachel Taylor. But look at her. Number 5. You probably caught a few of the references to other Marvel heroes and events throughout the show, so let's just run through them really quick. Right off the bat, there's a reference to Jessica Jones as his rebound that shot him in the face. Rebound. As his rebound that shot him in the face with a shotgun. Ugh. Then we see a kid selling incident DVDs, referring to the time that the Avengers fought aliens in New York and then threw that nuke in that space hole. You got Iron Man, the blonde guy with the hammer, the old guy with the shield, and the green guy. Even Scarf and Misty discuss what it means to be a cop now that you have someone like Thor running around saving people. You get Hammer Tech, as in Luke Cage is referencing back to Iron Man 2, one of the more forgetful Marvel movies. Remember when Sam Rockwell was making those knockoff Iron Man suits? Well, now he's making magic space bullets and knitted space sweaters. Don't know why they didn't mention Hulk wrecking Harlem, but anyways. You also get Kilgrave, Fisk, Frank Castle, and the Hand mentions in one way or another, as well as some really good lawyers that could help out Luke Cage from his situation, and Matt Murdock and Foggy. Wink, wink, wink. And it's fun to see Fisk's lawyer on the show, Ben Donovan, and the DA Blake Tower from other Netflix shows. Also Turk, you kind of like him a little bit, then you remember in the first scene of Daredevil, he was trafficking humans, so kind of a D-bag. Moving on. Number 4, if you didn't notice, there's this huge photo of Biggie Smalls in Cottonmouth's office right there, right behind him. It's enormous. And he's a pretty big influence throughout the Luke Cage series. Some of you might have known right off the bat that the showrunner for Luke Cage, Chio Hodari Cocker, wrote the script for Notorious, the biopic for Biggie. Pretty cool, but there were some other references that were weaved into the show that you may not have caught. Specifically, that Biggie's widow, Faith Evans, performed in Harlem's Paradise. That's a fun little Easter egg. 3, we get plenty of mentions and winks at Hero for Hire, but one that you might have missed was the Calling Wing self-defense training class that Claire seems to be signing up for. Most of you were probably saying, Sam, that's just a tease for Iron Fist. Yeah, you're right, but also, what if this could possibly lead to a Heroes for Hire show starring Misty Knight and Calling Wing? Thanks, DJ, for that idea. In the comics, both of these powerhouses run the team together, and they've worked with Luke Cage and Danny Rand to help them solve crime and protect people, and so on. Number 2, we're gonna revisit Diamondback for just one more second. Now, this name was used for numerous characters in Marvel Comics, but specifically, this Willis Stryker version does not have a long comic book career. But with the tease of Noah Bernstein working on him during the finale and that there's something special in Luke's DNA that made his abilities manifest, we might see the emergence of a different Luke Cage villain. On the show, they make Willis his literal brother, not his childhood friend. In the comics, Luke actually has a brother named James Lucas Jr., who gets tied up with some evildoers and gains superhuman abilities thanks to a mad scientist. Wink. James Jr. becomes Coldfire. Ooh, spooky. Basically, he can go toe-to-toe with Luke Cage, but is also covered with flames. Look at that. He's able to spray energy and incinerate things. That's pretty fun. Will we see Willis Stryker and James Lucas Jr. merge into one character, or will this just be like an evil Luke Cage in season 2? Time will tell. And number 1, last but not least, and certainly not in any particular order, let's take a look at that Tarantino nod. When Tone returns from shooting up Pop's shop and killing Pop, Tone compares his crime scene to the shootout on the plantation during the finale of Django Unchained. Now, at first glance, this could just really mean nothing, but did you know that Quentin Tarantino actually planned to make a Luke Cage movie that was directly based on the genre and story from the original first issues of his run? Yeah, it's pretty cool. He was planning on making it after Reservoir Dogs, but instead he made a little film named Pulp Fiction. Yeah, you win some, you lose some, am I right? Also, he was planning on making it a total and complete blaxploitation genre film reminiscent of the blaxploitation tone of the original comic. Sounds interesting, but I'm gonna stick with the Luke Cage show that we got. I don't care what anyone says, I loved every single second of it. And bonus ones, Stanley is right there, pretty cool, right on the poster before Luke Cage runs into that convenience store and saves freaking Method Man. Also, right before filming this, I found out they were trying to get Prince to make a little cameo in the show, and that the swear jar was a little homage to him. And those are my top 10 favorite Easter eggs or secrets I found from Marvel's Luke Cage. What other Easter eggs did you guys catch when you were binging it? Let me know down below. Give this video a like if you will, please. Share and subscribe. I'm Sam Basher. Check out more videos right here, and I'll see you next time. Welcome back to Superhero 101. Today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Luke Cage. If you've been living under a thick rock for the past few months, then you've missed some of the most kick-ass trailers for a show ever. Little shimmy shimmy yeah, and a trailer never hurt nobody, did it?